Pivot to Colorado is a public-private partnership designed to recruit tech workers to Colorado. We're joined here by Stephanie Copeland. You lead the Colorado office, I want to get this right, of Economic Development and International Trade. So you know people are going to ask, why in the world is the state of Colorado spending money to convince Californians to move here and take our great jobs?
So it's a great question. Let me just take a step back. So we are lucky enough to be in this unbelievably growing economy, and it's diversified specifically across sectors, one of them being the tech sector. And the tech sector is kind of in this scale-up mode in the Denver metro area, in the Boulder area. With scale-up comes labor challenges. And those labor challenges are acute here in Colorado, given an unemployment rate between 2.5% and 3%. So contrary to that statement, we're really trying to recruit for unfilled jobs that we can't find the talent here in Colorado for. And that's part of a longer-term solution that has to go in place.
You're working as the state with tech companies on this. There are so many industries in Colorado that desperately need workers. I think of construction, I think of nursing, I think of truck drivers. Why tech? Right.
Well, again, it's a great question, and you're right. There are kind of a complete continuum of this across the state. The tech sector really is leading this, and they essentially brought together a coalition and raised the money, and they're paying for it. And that's simply the answer.
So you guys are specifically looking to California, to Silicon Valley, trying to get those workers here. I imagine it's not tough to sell them on the mountains and the lifestyle. What is the hard sell? Do they think we have dirt streets and cows wandering around, or what?
Yeah, no, no, that's not the answer. That's not that perception, but there is a lack of perception of what the kind of rich mosaic that exists here in the tech sector. So if you're sitting in the Bay, if you're sitting in San Francisco or Silicon Valley, you think of that as the mecca for your career. If you're going to really recruit senior product engineers and senior software developers, you have to make sure they know they can build a career here.
Not just one job.
Not just a job. That's
okay,
exactly
that makes
right.
sense.
Yeah.
So this is going to sound like a super strange question, but I don't know that I've ever heard anybody from the state answer this. You sit on the governor's cabinet, you work with the governor. Is it the state's position that more people should move to Colorado, that our population should increase?
You're really going to ask me to answer that question?
I've never heard the answer to that question.
I think there's not a simple answer for that. The answer is that the state is growing organically, and we're growing because of the place that we are. And do you artificially slow that down? Do you try to say, no, people can't come here? That's not really the spirit of Colorado, nor is it the spirit of the U.S. So I think the answer is you allow people to tell you what they want to do and be.
This coalition that you've built between the tech companies and the state, are you going to branch out into other things, or is this just about moving people from somewhere else here to fill a job?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think that this is a grassroots effort, and its main aim was to look at some acute issues we have with finding, again, senior talent in this particular sector, because we really have a great talented pool here, but we need more. Whether or not we do something else in another city or whether we go out to other sectors really depends on what the sector says they need or the community says they need.
Sure. Are you guys also recruiting companies or just people?
For the Recruiting Coalition is just about recruiting people, recruiting workforce.
Okay. So what is the pitch to folks that you're making? Yeah,
a couple things we're trying to make people aware of. One is that this is a really tech-rich environment. One, it's an unbelievably conducive environment for an entrepreneurial ecosystem, and most people are entrepreneurial, have an entrepreneurial bent in this space. And secondly, that this is a place where you can build community, and you can build companies, and you can build a career. And that is, I think that's something unique that we have and will continue to have.
So one concern that you've heard from people is whether there is a rich enough ecosystem that if they come to Colorado for a tech job and that project ends or it dries up or whatever, that they can find more work. What else are you hearing from people in the Bay Area that you're trying to attract? Because when I think about that area, I think about their infrastructure, I think about their public transit, I think about the physical density that a lot of these companies are in. Colorado doesn't have that. It doesn't have that connectivity. Have you heard that from them?
What we've heard is that both from leaders in the Bay as well as workers in the Bay, that there is just an unbelievable mecca of peer talent and company talent that they can go work for and work around. And that's super, super attractive, and it offsets some of the other challenges that they see. What we think Colorado can show them, and we show this with evidence, is that you can actually live and build here in the way that you want and build that same career, that same kind of unbelievably peer talent, peer supported career.
Somebody in the Bay Area is looking at this and going, ooh, cheap housing, and Coloradans are going, ooh, not really. But that's a fact. I mean, the housing costs there are quite a bit higher than they are on the Front Range.
That's right.
So who are you competing against for this talent? Denver can't be the first city trying to poach people from the Bay Area.
Absolutely not. In fact, San Diego has run campaigns like this. Austin has run campaigns like this. Seattle used to run campaigns like this and has really created a real tech ecosystem for themselves there. But we are not the first. And the premature death of Silicon Valley is has been widely touted, but is not happening. I mean, Silicon Valley is absolutely the mecca of the tech sector. But I do believe that there is this migration that's moving out, and those talent pools are looking to go somewhere. We'd like to intersect that.
Last question. I know we'll hear this from viewers who say, why wouldn't these companies, or at least the state, spend the money to retrain Coloradans for these great jobs rather than bringing in outsiders?
Oh, it's also a great question. And by the way, this is not a zero-sum game, meaning that you have to do multiple things to fix this problem. You've got to retrain, you've got to have an organic education system that creates these workers, and you have to recruit, and you have to be a place that people want to come and work. We don't think those are mutually exclusive.
Okay, I thought that was my last question. I had one more. Who's trying to take our people?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. I think I honestly believe, given some of the recent growth that we've had here, we're seeing people being recruited from all over the country. But particularly, we get a lot of people recruiting from Texas, as well as the Midwest, from Chicago, and then increasingly and interestingly, depending on the sector, from Utah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I know. As I travel about the country, I'll see some ads touting lower cost of living,
right,
things like that, in other places, trying to pull people from Denver.
Can I add one more thing to that?
Sure.
Recently, there was one in Ohio that was exactly doing. There's a tech campaign going on there too, trying to recruit our people. So,
very interesting. Yeah. Inside the world of poaching workers from other places. Stephanie Copeland from the state, thank you so much for coming by. Appreciate the insight.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.